ARM had a pretty good quarter.
Yeah, it's although I'm not sure. It's weird to me that the company that's ultimately responsible for the majority of the
Hmm.
CPU based devices in the world makes in the millions of dollars. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad business, but
Yeah,
it's interesting.
seems like a high margin business for the way that they function and operate, which is,
Oh my god, I think it's what is it, 96.5% margins? Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, it's basically a guy drawing a picture on a piece of paper. You know, like
that's kind of it.
I don't think there's not a lot of. It's funny. Yeah, it's a different kind of company.
I mean, they are what every IP company wants to be on the planet, but
Sure.
they actually do something, not just buy patents. But
Yeah, I briefly considered researching what the difference was between their licensing and royalty revenues, and I was like, who cares?
yeah,
They just design chips and make money from it. Also, I don't look too much into this. I should have written this bit, but like record revenues of whatever the number was.
hmm,
This is only the second quarter they've ever reported revenue, so they're probably going to be able to set a record for a little while here every quarter.
yeah,
So whatever.
yeah. Other vaguely interesting things. Google Bard is now Gemini, which I think that had been known for a week or whatever. But there's
Yeah,
now you can now pay Google non-Bard, whatever it's Gemini, $20 a month to use it for
yeah,
extra premium things. But
right. I think I will actually just to see how
look
it
at you,
compares to Copilot Pro, right?
or
So
ChatGPT, the original olive oil, right?
the original. Well, I don't know. I didn't look at what Google's offering it for this $20, but the Microsoft comparison is a good one because it's direct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, for Copilot, I think it makes more sense to pay for that because you get everything OpenAI does plus whatever Microsoft puts on top of it, and the big value there is in the Office apps if you use them,
I
right?
was
I mean, it's kind
I
of
was about to
incredible.
say when you go, it's not there yet, but we will be there probably within less than a
Hmm.
year. The real value in these things is going to be where is your data stored? Because if all your data is in Gmail, G Drive, and everything else, Google's
Hmm.
is going to make a hell of a lot more sense for you.
I
If all of
lost
it's
track.
in
I'm sorry.
OneDrive and Office stuff, then Microsoft's going to make more. Or you can pay for both, like a chump.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. So maybe the Google Gemini thing does special things in docs and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, that's good too. There's something I lost track of this. I saw this the other day, and then we never wrote it up, and I don't even remember where I saw it now. But there's a there's in the sense that there are too many copilots, and there are about to be even more. There's going to be like a copilot in OneDrive coming, and it will be part of Copilot in Microsoft 365, and presumably Copilot Pro, but it will do that thing we've been talking about,
Mm-hmm.
like use your OneDrive as the data store. And for someone like me who has, literally 30 years of writing in there, that's kind of valuable, right? I mean,
Sure.
I have a hard time remembering what I wrote this week, let alone, 10, 20, pick your number,
Mm-hmm.
whatever years ago. So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you didn't title whatever the document anything
Or
vaguely
just,
related.
well, even, you know, a file system search isn't always great. It's great when it works. It isn't
Mm-hmm.
always great.
Yeah.
Um, I often have to go to OneDrive.com and look things up, and then it's just like Google search. I want to know. I don't know, I have to make something up. I mean, having it to summarize something like tell me everything I wrote about Zune, or whatever in some kind of a blue, summary format,
Mm-hmm.
is useful, and then with links to here are the details. Um, it's nice.
Yeah.
I assume it's going to be nice. I haven't used it. Obviously,
Right.
it's not here yet, but.
On paper, but
Mhm. No, this is
cautiously
what will keep
optimistic.
people in the ecosystem. I don't think we talked about this, but part of the Microsoft earnings in the post earnings call,
Mm-hmm.
someone had asked about growth in Office commercial seats, and they literally admitted that they had run into a ceiling on commercial seats, and then the thing that kept it growing was they were able to introduce these low cost SKUs like frontline worker, et cetera. So then they experienced another period of seat growth, and they hit 400 million seats or whatever in the most recent quarter. And what they said was You can expect that to slow down dramatically now. We've kind of saturated the market for the customers who are going to pay for that stuff. But the thing to look for, they didn't say this explicitly, but they
Mhm.
said we're going to start making more money per seat because now we're going to get at these AI based add-ons like
Mhm.
Copilot for Microsoft 365, right? So I bet Microsoft starts changing the metric to some dollar number per seat on average, right? Like that's how they're going to start reporting it. Like after they stopped reporting console figures for Xbox, they started talking about,
Mm.
monthly active users or engagement levels or whatever, these kind of soft numbers. This is not a soft number, it's a good number, but
Yep.
they might stop talking about that and just start talking about something else. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's the Microsoft way, right? Just kind of hide it behind the other numbers.
Yeah, I mean, how little can we get away with discussing, with our shareholders? It's a game, but
Yep.
they're pretty good at it.
And yeah, I would say they are very good at it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's kind of the whatever Apple's working on foldable phones. Whatever. Like,
Well, that's kind of interesting. Just for people in the the Apple ecosystem. It's a new Chinese company I'm following. Um, they released new versions of iCloud,
all
Apple
right.
TV,
Yep.
iTunes, believe it or not, Apple Music, and there's like an Apple Devices app as well. The non iCloud apps are all now out of beta. I guess I haven't looked. I mean, I'm sure they're still terrible, but the iCloud thing is of interest. I've been writing some articles about online accounts and security and everything, and I'm going to do one on Google soon. So this is good timing for me because I want to do one about the Apple stuff too. Apple's got a nice, password management, whatever, cross-platform. They're way slower on Windows than they are on their own stuff, but honestly, the new app looks pretty good. I mean, the new apps all look pretty good.
Mhm.
They're probably it's just the same apps with kind of a prettier front end or whatever, but it's okay. Yeah. Anyway, it's something to look at if you use that stuff.
I guess. Yeah. I mean,
I think Keychain's a pretty safe way to do your,
yeah.
bookmarks and not bookmarks, passwords, important stuff.
That's probably pretty fair.
I think so. Apple. I can't wait. I'm going to write more about Apple in the future. It's a big company. They're
You're an
going
Apple.
places.